This is way better than we thought, as the New York Rangers look like a completely different team, and it's on the shoulders of one player in particular. We're going to break that down, as well as how the Rangers are going to make the playoffs this season. We're going to break it all down in this episode of Rangers Digest. But before we do that, a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. About 68% of you who watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. So if you want to stay up to date with everything that's happening with the New York Rangers, it's free. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and a very special thank you and shout out to those of you who are subscribed. Over 6,000 of you. We're now on the road to 7,000 subscribers. Your support on the channel has been unbelievable, and I see all your comments and all the support. Thank you very much. But who is the player that I'm talking about off the top? Who else could it be? It's JT Miller. He's completely changed almost the identity of this team overnight, and a lot of people might say that's an overreaction. But is it? After what we saw last night, is it an overreaction? He's changed what this team is at this point. We're going to get into some clips, and I'm going to break down exactly what I mean in this video. But let's start with this. There is a new sheriff in town. Look at Fox. This guy, Fox, he's been here a while. Zibanejad's been here for what, 8 years at this point? JT Miller's the one directing traffic in this huddle. He's you know, everybody gather around. This is what we're going to do. This is what I think that we should do on this play. And it worked out last night. I mean, a huge comeback win against the team that you had to beat. There was no other option. If you lost that game, the playoffs were not looking good. They put themselves right back in a much better position, that's for sure. It's not a great position, but a much better position than they were if they had lost this game. So they fought back in this game again. And some people would argue, hey, why were they even going down? You shouldn't go down. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is they did, and they crawled back. And I think that shows something about what this team is at this point in this season. So the new sheriff is in town. He's the one directing traffic. I love to see it. And I mean, the vibes are very high right now. I mean, last night we saw a shorthanded goal from Chris Kreider, which was incredible. He does not look that injured anymore. Whatever was bothering him on that play was certainly not bothering him. We have a jumping hug from Zibanejad and Kreider. We might be back. The Rangers might be back after I saw this last night. A huge comeback win against a team that you are chasing, directly chasing in the race for the playoffs. You got a shorthanded goal from Chris Kreider, which we'll get into that again later in the video. Really impressive stats for Chris Kreider, actually. I want to get into that. But and then jumping into Mika Zibanejad's hands. I mean, I love that, or arms, I should say. And Zibanejad sporting that new haircut. Maybe, you know, a little bit of the Panarin thing from a couple of years ago, shaving off the head because of the bad juju, all that stuff. Maybe, you know, maybe. We're going to get into Zibanejad as well, but I want to get back into JT Miller, and I'm going to play a clip here in a second as well. But this was a different play. This was not the goal that they scored on, but this is hard to defend against. This is so, and it's so simple. And you tell me the last time you saw a guy on the top two lines on the Rangers make a play like this. It is so simple. He recognizes he's outmanned. He dumps it in, smashes Carlo, drives the net, and they score. Like, how do you defend against that? You can't. This is what I've been talking about. This guy creates chaos in front, all over the ice. You never know what he's going to do. He has so much skill with his shot in front of the net, his hands, but he can dump the puck. It's the most simple plays that most Rangers don't do, where he just dumps it in, smashes the guy, creates space, because now that defenseman is, you know, seeing stars, there's birds going around his head like the Looney Tunes, right? He doesn't know what's going on. Puck goes back to Panarin, who's this team's best scorer and one of the best scorers in the league. How do you defend against that? You can't. So much space opened up with that play for Panarin. If you continue to do that, this team will find success. And it's not just that on the top line. This type of play is contagious, right? You'll see other guys start to do it. Look what happened on Sunday against Vegas, right? Will Cooley coming out and smashing guys because JT Miller set the tone early. So this is what I've been talking about. A lot of people don't think that matters. A lot of people like to look at lineups on paper, stuff like that. This guy is changing in real time this team. He is, because of the most simple plays. It's unbelievable. Honestly, tell me in the comments if you remember the last time a top 6 player on the Rangers made such a simple play that worked that well. He dumped it in from the red line. He realized he was outmanned. Went in, chased after it, didn't win the puck battle, smashed the guy, right? Laid a big hit, finished his check. It created space. There was a nice pass to Panarin. Panarin, he's not going to miss from there when he has that much time and space, right? That is hard to defend. That is hard to play against. This is what I've been talking about. I think the Rangers are going to become hard to play against because that type of play is contagious. Other people other players, I should say, on other lines are going to start to play that way. Or at least I hope. I hope it bleeds over a little bit. And you're starting to see it a little bit with guys like Cooley, but Cooley already had it in him. But great game from JT Miller. And this is not even the same clip, by the way. This is a few minutes later. He dumps it in. It's not even the goal. It looks so similar. He dumps it in the exact same way, and he smashes Carlo again. And I mean, or this might be Clifton, but this is hard to play against. Imagine you're a defenseman on the other team and you're like, oh my God, here comes JT Miller again, right? And it's not even him that's going to score the goal. He's going to dump it in. He's going to finish his hit. And every shift he's coming at you like this. And if you're a defenseman, like I just said, on the other team, you're going to be like, oh my God, this guy's coming down, barreling down on me again. Create space. Panarin puts the puck in the back of the net. That's hard to play against. It's really hard to play against. And I love the fact. And like, this is the same play. This is just a few seconds later. Lays his hit. The puck frees up. And then the rest of the Rangers are able to make a play around it. Look, there's three guys. The defenseman, I think that's Zadorov, is chasing. You got two defensemen in front and a centerman not knowing what to do with JT Miller. He's crashing the net. He's throwing cross checks, stuff like that. Like, he's not afraid to create chaos and mix it up in front. This is an X factor. This is going to make a difference for the Rangers, and this is why I think they're actually going to make the playoffs, because of games like last night, because of Vegas. Yes, they've been going down, but they've been crawling back, right? They've been showing some fight. When was the last time we saw that from the Rangers? I like to see that. So is he captain material? Seen a lot of that in the comments. I don't know if he's captain material. I think it's going to be Trocheck. Not to say that he's not captain material, but I feel like there's going to be a new leadership group ushered in. It might not be this season, maybe next season. I think it's going to be Trocheck as the captain. I think it's going to be JT Miller as the assistant captain. And it's going to be a lot of fun, because I think this guy is completely changing the way that this team plays, which is great. It's contagious when you play like that, and it works. When it works, it is contagious. You'll start to see other guys chip in and do the same thing. So I wanted to touch on, before we wrap up here, Mika Zibanejad and Chris Kreider. Zibanejad has been heating up as of late, and it's because he's been put on the wing. So credit to Peter Laviolette in that way. It looks like the Rangers might have to go out and get a third-line center now because of that. But listen, if it works, it works. You have to find a spot for Zibanejad to be successful. You can't have $8.5 million wasting away there on the third-line center and not even playing well at center. You can't have that. Chris Kreider, whatever's been ailing him this season, did not look like it was ailing him last night. He looked great. So Zibanejad on joining him on the short-handed rush, or Chris Kreider joining him on the short-handed rush, you can hear him, and no, he doesn't mean number 20 calling for it. Zibanejad can hear the way Kreider skates. If you look at the way Kreider skates, when he's healthy, I mean, he looked like he was healthy on that play. So that was great to see. And like I said earlier in the video, impressive stats. Chris Kreider scores his league-leading 12th shorthanded goal since the 2021-2022 season. So that is impressive. 12 shorthanded goals. I believe he has one. He might have 3 this season. I think that was his 3rd one. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I think it's at least his 2nd of the season. But again, really impressive stats for Chris Kreider. And Mika Zibanejad, like I brought up earlier, he's been heating up. All the advanced analytics show that to be the case. It could, might have something to do with the fact that now he's playing wing and he doesn't have to be as defensively responsible, because clearly he's been checked out that way as a centerman all season long. So we'll see how this continues to develop. The advanced analytics look good. He's been looking good, eye test at least, or better, since he cut his hair. Again, I don't know if there's anything to that, but last thing I'll mention before I wrap up, and some of you might roll your eyes, but I got to give some love for Zac Jones. He finally gets back into a game. It's been a long time since he's played, and Peter Laviolette on how Zac Jones played tonight after sitting for 18 straight games. He played the game with some attitude, and the full quote is, "I thought he was really good, not just moving the puck and the skating, but for me, it was the way he attacked defensively in the defensive zone, the way he closed. There was extra attitude in what he was doing out there. That's what we've been looking for. I thought he really responded with a big game. Sometimes those games can be tougher because you haven't been up to speed." So that's the exact thing with that. Like, coming in after 18 games off, that's tough, and I thought that he played well. So I just wanted to highlight that, and Peter Laviolette thought so as well. He played, I thought, that's been a problem of his, like, to have some, snarl to his game, to attack defensively, stuff like that, because there's other areas of the ice where he looks great, but he's missing that to his game. So if he starts to add that, and that starts to add up, it's going to be very interesting for the Rangers. I wonder if he sees himself in some more games. I've been a big fan of Zac Jones, so just wanted to give him a little shout out there to end the video. But let me know in the comments what you think of JT Miller and the difference he's made so far for the New York Rangers. I think it's been unbelievable so far. We're starting to get a little bit more of a sample size. They have 2 huge games coming up here against the Pittsburgh Penguins, who they're actively fighting in the standings with. Not really, but you want to stay ahead of them, right? The Columbus Blue Jackets on Saturday. that is a huge game. That is a must-win game. So let me know what you think in the comments, and if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers.